I've been doing quite a bit of driveway camping here recently. My parents get up really early on weekdays, and they're very, very loud as well, so it's just been a little bit more comfortable to sleep inside the van, and I figure might as well enjoy this van. I don't really have it for that much longer. The van is pretty much sold for the most part. Obviously, a process like this takes a little bit of time. I'm still waiting on some documentation, the title. I recently paid off the van, so that's kind of part of the reason why I'm stuck here where I am right now. But the buyer did place a deposit on the van within a few hours of me publishing that tour video, and now it's just kind of a waiting game. It's just waiting to make sure everything works out. You know, right now, Shannon is in Florida. I'll get into that in a couple of minutes here, the reasons why she kind of just left me up here. But that being said, the people who are interested in buying it, the person that has the deposit on it, and then anyone else who's next in line, the majority of them are all right here in the Northeast. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go all the way down to Florida and then either make them come down to Florida to get the van or, you know, maybe figure out a way to drive it back up and then fly down or something like that. I just kind of just need to have some patience and hang out here and wait for it all to play out. But it is kind of weird. Like, I'm very eager to move on. The weather's starting to get colder up here. Like, I'm ready to get out of here. I think my parents are ready to get rid of me at this point, but I just got to be a little patient. This has to be one of my favorite places on the planet. I'm just kind of trying to make the most of my last days here and enjoy this part of the country while the weather is at least somewhat bearable. I can't believe that I have this spot to myself right now. It is a pretty good surf spot. I grew up surfing at this spot right here, and even when there is even a slight swell in the water, it's usually pretty busy. So right now there's no waves, it's completely flat, and there's nobody around even just coming here to hang out like I'm doing right now. So pretty grateful. I scored a pretty awesome afternoon here, and I did lag behind Shannon in part because I wanted to spend a little bit more time in this area, spend a little bit more time with my family. Shannon kind of rushed down to Florida immediately after my sister's wedding, which was really awesome, by the way. It was an absolutely beautiful weekend. Small wedding, obviously, considering the circumstances and everything, but that being said, it was absolutely gorgeous. And Shannon, like I said, just kind of went straight down to Florida. The reason that she did that, guys, is because Shannon bought a house in Florida. It's not really what you think, though. We're not settling down or anything like that. It's more of an investment property, and the timing of it all was pretty much perfect because Shannon's sister Tyler, who you guys met in a previous video, and her boyfriend Manny are moving to Florida, or actually just recently moved to Florida. Tyler had been laid off from her job back when the pandemic started, and then recently got a new job doing something very similar in Florida. And also, which is all really cool about this, is that it's very, very close to where my parents are planning to retire in Florida, which we visited earlier this summer. So it all just kind of seemed to line up and work out. And like I said, the plan for the property is that it will be an investment property. It's an older home. It is like an early 1980s home, so, you know, and everything is original, so we're going to have to do a lot of work, especially cosmetic stuff, to kind of get it up to par. But it does have a little in-law apartment as well, so our plan is basically just to rent it out. Tyler and Manny are going to be living there, and then we'll rent out the in-law apartment as well, but we'll have to spend a good portion of the winter kind of renovating everything and getting it ready. And we kind of figured this was a good chance to do that, as well as buy our new van and use that space to build out the van this winter in Florida, The weather's pretty much perfect down there all winter, so it should be a good opportunity, guys. I know Shannon is super excited. Like I said, she kind of went straight down there like the day after the wedding, and she's already there. They're already tackling some of these projects and getting everything done, and it's going to be a fun winter, I think. It's going to be busy. It's not going to be easy or anything like that. We're going to be building out our next van on the road, as well as fixing up this house and everything like that. But it should be a nice thing to have, and we can use that space moving forward if we are in the area. We're thinking about maybe putting like a tiny house in the backyard long term and stuff like that. So we'll be able to have like almost a little bit of a home base there, while also using it as rental income and as an investment property. And it's just something that just kind of seemed, like I said, to kind of line up and work out really well for Shannon's sister and for Manny and for obviously Shannon and I. It's very, very exciting, guys, and like I said, we're not really planning to settle down or anything like that. Like, this is definitely not the end of van life. If anything, it's just an opportunity for us to kind of get ready for whatever is to come in the future. And there's a big driveway at this lot. There's a lot of space, so I'm excited. I'm gonna have a little shed in the back to be able to work on the next van, and I'm just really kind of eager to get down there as well and kind of start helping with the renovations and everything like that. And I miss Shannon. It's been like a week at this point, and I'm already starting to miss her, so looking forward to getting down there and hanging out and spending time there. Just kind of a very exciting time. I know I mentioned previously, a few videos ago or whatever it was, maybe a month or two ago, that we had some exciting things happening, and this is definitely a big part of it. And regarding our next van, we still haven't committed to anything yet, but still considering the JDM import option, as well as a couple of different options. Maybe getting something like a domestic Ford E350, maybe a box truck, maybe doing like a truck camper or something like that. There are a number of routes that we could go with this. We will be making that decision at some point in the next couple of months, though, and should be fun. It should be, like I said, I'm very, very excited about that. And I know a number of folks asked why we don't just keep Shannon's van, and you would be right to assume that Shannon's van is like the perfect size for us. If we just kind of redid the layout in there, it would absolutely be the right amount of space. I think it's maybe a little bit too big. I think we could go with something that's a little bit more compact, a little bit easier to drive, but realistically, I'm just being a pain in the butt. That would be a perfect size for us. But there are a number of reasons why we are not keeping the Sprinter. The main one is that, obviously, like I said, Shannon just bought a house, and she does not own that Sprinter. She has a loan on it. She has to pay off the loan on it, and it's a pretty substantial amount of money that she still owes on it, and she kind of wants to get rid of that debt and take any extra cash that she gets from the sale of the van and put it into the house. So that's kind of the number one thing. I'm officially now almost completely debt free. I've paid off this van and I will be selling it. So it's a nice feeling to be able to get rid of excess debt when you don't really need it. And the Sprinter is a great van. I'm excited for whoever gets that van. That being said, obviously Sprinters are notorious for not being super cheap to work on and cheap to maintain and stuff like that. So we want to get something that's a little bit older, something that I'm more comfortable working on myself. So that we can save on paying a mechanic to do repairs and stuff like that. So those are two of the main reasons why we want to sell the thing. I am excited for whoever ends up buying that van, and we're probably going to do like a tour of that van at some point in the near future here on the channel, and in a similar kind of setup, or who knows, maybe we'll sell it even before then. I don't know. It's kind of just, like I said, Shannon wants to kind of free up that cash so she can put it towards the house, and we can get done with this renovation and everything like that, and then move on to our next adventure at some point in the spring. I think that pretty much sums it up for this one, though, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all in the next one.